There's a new exhibit at Joseph Brant Museum that is making visitors truly stop and think about how lucky they are to live in Canada. Nikki Wesley explains.
People are going to come in with their own ideas about refugees, about people coming to Canada, both positive and negative. And I think this exhibit, although we aren't looking to change people's minds or make people feel a certain way, I think that if it allows them to maybe have a different perspective or maybe look at things a different way, then I think that the exhibit's done its job.
Refuge Canada at Joseph Brant Museum is the first exhibition to be shown in Burlington from Pier 21, the Canadian Museum of Immigration in Halifax.
And it really looks at Canada's response to the refugee crisis. So the exhibit sort of takes you through from when a refugee first comes to Canada and what they have to deal with. There's many different reasons that they come. It could be a disaster, it could be economic difficulties, it could be persecution, and really looks at what they feel when they come.
Sharing their perspective from the fear, the hope, and uncertainty.
And then it ends with refugees that have come to Canada and the hope that they have and what they've made of themselves while they're here.
The exhibition highlights the privileges and freedoms Canadians enjoy every day, some of which we may take for granted.
You know, you have choice in Canada, right? You have choice, you have opinions. You're allowed to state what those opinions are. And a lot of the countries that these people are coming from, they never know what could happen. There's one part of the exhibit where they talk about sometimes a knock on the door and you don't know who's behind it. And it's those kind of things that make you think, that coming to a country where you don't have to worry about that in the same sense, in the same terms.
It is one of the most emotionally impactful exhibitions Joseph Brant Museum has hosted. Kimberly shares that many visitors during opening weekend looked at the beginning half of the exhibit and had to take a break before viewing the second half.
When I first went through it, my grandfather immigrated over in the 1920s, and that's not something I really had thought about very much. And going through this exhibit, it really made me think about, he was a young boy when they landed in Halifax with my great-grandparents, what they must have felt. They must have been excited, but they must have been scared at the same time, and what they may have had to go through. So it gave me a different perspective on it as well.
Refuge Canada is on display until mid-April of next year. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.